Welcome to the world where millions of dollars are gambled in the blink of an eye. The football transfer window is more than just a business period. It is a high-stakes poker game played in the shadows of the world's most luxurious boardrooms. For months, scouts and agents whisper in secret, building up to a crescendo that culminates in the final 24 hours, known as Deadline Day. But behind the glitz of the unveiling photo shoots, there lies a graveyard of deals that never was. These are stories of administrative blunders, strange coincidences, and moments of pure human error. Today, we peel back the curtain on the most controversial failed transfers in history. We start our journey in a dimly lit office, where the clicking of a clock sounds like a ticking time bomb. The air in these rooms is heavy with caffeine and desperation. It is August 31st, and the window is about to slam shut. To understand the mystery, we must understand the pressure. Imagine having only minutes to finalize a contract worth more than most people earn in a lifetime, while lawyers argue over image rights and medical reports. One small slip, one misfiled paper, and the entire house of cards collapses. We are looking at the why. Why do these world-class organizations, with their billions in revenue, fail at the most basic tasks? Is it truly just incompetence, or is there something more calculated at play? As we look closer at the archives, one name stands out as the ultimate symbol of transfer failure: David De Gea and the infamous fax machine saga. It was the summer of 2015, and the world's best goalkeeper was ready to return home to Madrid. Manchester United and Real Madrid had spent the entire window posturing, a game of brinkmanship that lasted until the final minutes of the Spanish deadline. Everything was agreed upon: the fee, the personal terms, even the swap deal involving Keylor Navas. But then, silence. The clock struck midnight in Spain, and the documents hadn't arrived in time. Real Madrid blamed United's slow processing. United blamed the Spanish system. In the middle was a broken fax machine, a piece of technology from a bygone era that supposedly held the fate of a multi-million-dollar deal. It remains one of the most embarrassing administrative failures in sporting history, leaving De Gea stranded in Manchester. But if De Gea's story was a tragedy of technology, Peter Odemwingi's story was a tragedy of ambition and a very long car ride. In January 2013, the West Brom striker decided he was joining Queen's Park Rangers, despite no deal being officially reached between the clubs. Driven by the belief that his move was imminent, Odemwingi drove himself across the country, arriving at the gates of Loftus Road in full view of the television cameras. He stood there, smiling, giving interviews about his new chapter, while the club he thought he was joining refused to let him in. It was a surreal moment of public humiliation. He had burned his bridges at West Brom, but the gates to QPR remained locked. He eventually had to drive back home, a player without a purpose, caught in the most awkward limbo imaginable. What leads a player to such a desperate act? Is it the agents whispering in their ears, or a genuine misunderstanding of the transfer process? The Odemwingi incident exposed the raw, often unpolished side of the industry. It showed that even in the modern era, communication can break down so spectacularly that a professional athlete can end up stranded in a parking lot like a fan waiting for an autograph. The fallout was immediate and harsh. His career at West Brom was effectively over, and the image of him leaning out of his car window became a permanent meme in football culture. This wasn't just a failed transfer. It was a public relations nightmare that served as a warning to every player who thought they could force a move through sheer willpower. As we dig deeper into our files, we find that sometimes the failure isn't in the paperwork or the player's attitude, but in the physical body itself. Enter the medical examination, the final hurdle that has ended many dreams. Nabil Fekir's move to Liverpool in 2018 is perhaps the most mysterious of all. He was the captain of Lyon, a World Cup winner-in-waiting, and had already filmed his announcement interview in a Liverpool kit. The photos existed, the deal was done. Then, suddenly, it wasn't. Liverpool cited concerns over a previous knee injury, but the players' camp insisted he was perfectly fine. To this day, the truth remains obscured by non-disclosure agreements and conflicting reports. A world-class was denied his dream move at the 11th hour, leaving fans wondering what could have been. The Fakir case highlights the cold, clinical nature of the business. To a club, a player is an asset, an investment that must be protected. If the engine shows even a hint of a future breakdown, the deal is aborted, regardless of the emotional cost. But what happens when the reason for failure is completely out of human control? What if nature itself conspires against a transfer? This brings us to one of the most incredible what-if stories in history: Robert Lewandowski and the volcano. In 2010, the young Polish striker was on the verge of joining Blackburn Rovers. He was invited to fly over to England to see the facilities and sign the contract. But then, the Eyjafjallajökull volcano in Iceland erupted, sending a massive ash cloud across Europe and grounding all flights. Lewandowski couldn't fly to Blackburn. The delay lasted for days, and in that window of time, Borussia Dortmund swooped in with a better offer. Lewandowski went to Germany, became a legend, and the rest is history. Blackburn fans were left to wonder how their destiny might have changed, if not for a plume of volcanic ash thousands of miles away. It is a reminder that in the transfer window, timing is everything, and even the Earth itself can intervene. This is the chaos of the market, where the flight paths of aircraft are just as important as the flight of the ball. It's a story that sounds like fiction, yet it dictated the career of one of the greatest strikers to ever play the game. As we move into the climax of our investigation, we encounter the truly bizarre. Did you know that spiritual intervention once halted a move? In 2015, Emmanuel Adebayor was set to join Aston Villa. He had toured the training ground, met the manager, and was ready to sign. But at the last second, he reportedly backed out because he claimed he had received a sign from his pastor that it wasn't the right move for him spiritually. In a multi-billion-dollar industry driven by data and analytics, a decision was made based on faith and omens. It left the Villa management stunned. This is the human element that no computer model can predict, the personal beliefs and sudden changes of heart that can derail months of planning. These stories aren't just anomalies, they are the cracks in the system. They show that despite the suits and the contracts, football is still a game of people, and people are unpredictable. We've seen tech failures, physical failures, and even geological failures. But the most controversial are often the ones where the clubs themselves sabotage the deal out of spite. Rivalries between owners can lead to ghost bids and fake interest, designed only to drive up the price for an opponent. It's a game of deception. As the deadline approaches, the desperation of a club needing a savior can lead them to overlook red flags that would be obvious on any other day. The transfer window doesn't just reveal who the best players are, it reveals the character of the institutions themselves. The tension of these failed deals often leaves a lasting scar on the players involved. Imagine being told you are moving to the biggest club in the world, only to be told an hour later that you are staying put. The psychological toll is immense. Players often return to their parent clubs feeling unwanted, their loyalty questioned by fans who saw them trying to leave. We see this in the eyes of the players during their first game back, the shadow of what could have been hanging over every touch of the ball. The transfer window mystery isn't just about the money lost, it's about the careers that were altered, the trajectories that were shifted by a broken fax machine or a cloud of ash. It's about the fragility of professional success. In the aftermath of these disasters, football changed. The introduction of the transfer matching system, or TMS, was designed to replace the unreliable fax machines of the past. FIFA sought to modernize the process, creating a digital paper trail that would prevent the he said, she said disputes of the De Gea era. But even with the best technology, the drama persists. Human error simply finds new ways to manifest. We've seen teams forget to press submit on a digital form, or servers crashing under the weight of last-minute traffic. The resolution of one problem only gives birth to another. The transfer window remains a beautiful, chaotic mess, because it reflects the beautiful, chaotic nature of the sport itself. So, what is the moral of these stories? Perhaps it's that in a world obsessed with control and perfection, there will always be room for the unexpected. These failed transfers remind us that no matter how much money is involved, some things are simply meant to be, or not to be. Lewandowski was destined for greatness, just not at Blackburn. De Gea became a legend at United instead of Madrid. These failures often lead to different, equally fascinating paths. They are the sliding doors moments of football. As investigators of this beautiful game, we've learned to expect the unexpected. When the clock hits 11 p.m. on August 31st, anything can happen. And that is why we keep watching, year after year, window after window. As we conclude this deep dive, we look forward to the next window. The rumors are already starting, the agents are making their calls, and somewhere, a fax machine, or its modern equivalent, is waiting to fail. We hope you enjoyed this journey through the archives of football's greatest almost moments. These stories are a testament to the passion, the madness, and the sheer unpredictability of the sport we love. From the boardrooms to the parking lots, the transfer window is the ultimate reality show, and we have a front row seat. Every failed deal is a story waiting to be told, a mystery waiting to be solved. Thank you for joining us in the shadows of the transfer market. If you loved this investigative look into the stranger side of football, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the world's most popular sport. What's the most shocking failed transfer you remember? Let us know in the comments below. We read every single one. Turn on notifications so you never miss an episode of our Transfer Mystery series. Until next time, keep your eyes on the ball and your ears to the ground. The window is always closing, but the stories are just beginning. Goodbye for now.